So maybe you've just finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and you're wondering what to play next. Or perhaps you're simply craving a new RPG series to sink your teeth into. Here are some other must-play Square Enix games that will delight any Final Fantasy fan. What do you get if you take some of the most beloved Disney and Pixar characters and some of the most popular Final Fantasy characters and put them together in the same series? You get Kingdom Hearts, and it's amazing. The series typically follows the protagonist Sora, a young boy with the power to wield a Keyblade. Accompanied by Donald and Goofy, he travels between worlds, facing off against the shadowy Heartless and interacting with some familiar faces for both Disney and Final Fantasy fans. There are a number of Kingdom Hearts games, but really there's no correct place to start the series. Each entry is a chapter of the larger story, but each is also enjoyable and distinct in its own right. Fortunately, the games are available in collections that comprise multiple titles, so wherever you begin, it's easy to start exploring the wonders of Kingdom Hearts. Dragon Quest is another giant RPG franchise. Not only is it very popular, but it's also incredibly influential. It was one of the first console RPGs, and in so many ways, it set the template for the whole genre. As for the games themselves, they are brilliant. Like Final Fantasy, each entry works as a standalone adventure, but they all share common enemies and themes. Each game is packed with personality, and many of the elements have become truly iconic. For example, maybe you've never played a Dragon Quest before, but surely you'll recognise the humble slime. There are plenty of Dragon Quest games available, and each one offers a great experience in its own right. While there's no correct starting point for the series, if I had to give my personal pick, I would point new players to Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. It's the most recent mainline entry in the Dragon Quest series, and perfectly pairs modern concepts with traditional RPG gameplay. Together, these create an unforgettable adventure. Incredible characters, exciting turn-based combat, and a gripping story. If you're a fan of RPGs, you simply must play Dragon Quest XI's. While Octopath Traveler is the newest franchise on our list, it certainly doesn't lack impact. The game's managed to merge a retro feel with modern sensibilities in the most impressive ways. The turn-based battles feel epic and exciting, the stunning HD 2D worlds overflow with charm, the soundtracks are unforgettable, and the varied stories are full of the emotion and gravitas you would expect from any great RPG. We can't recommend this series enough, and with only 2 console releases to date, it's the perfect time to join the growing Octopath Traveler fanbase. The Mana series and the Final Fantasy series are inextricably linked. So much so, the original Mana game was released as a Nintendo Game Boy spin-off of Final Fantasy. Since then, of course, Mana has gone on to carve out a wholly unique identity across handheld and consoles. It is now highly regarded as one of the most inventive action RPG series out there. Like Final Fantasy, each game works as a standalone experience. Monsters, items, and themes carry over between games, but narrative elements do not. While different games present markedly different experiences, each one is brimming with colour, imagination, and charm. The latest Mana game, Visions of Mana, is on its way, but here are some recommendations if you want to jump into the series right now. Trials of Mana is a full 3D remake of the original game. This fast-paced action RPG features beautiful visuals, snappy, satisfying combat, and a good amount of replayability. The overlapping story changes, depending on the characters you pick. The classic Legend of Mana has been recently re-released with newly remastered backgrounds, rearranged music, and more. It's an impressive freeform adventure and has a non-linear narrative where you choose how to experience the story. Collection of Mana features the first 3 games in the series, the Game Boy's Final Fantasy Adventure or Mystic Quest in Europe, and the SNES games, Secret of Mana and Trials of Mana. If you want to see how the series began, it's the best way to do it. If you play Final Fantasy because you love strong stories, then you should definitely check out Life is Strange. It's a narrative-focused series where your decisions impact the story, the characters, and their relationships. While some characters appear across multiple games, each entry in the series stands alone as an enjoyable and satisfying tale in its own right. Add some fascinating supernatural twists, and you have a series that constantly delivers some of the best tales in gaming. So why would a Final Fantasy fan love Life is Strange True Colors? Because Life is Strange True Colors loves Final Fantasy. The game features some wonderful references to RPGs, both in the background detail and gameplay segments, but to say any more would ruin the surprise. Rest assured that the rest of the game is terrific too. An emotional adventure with wonderful characters, visuals, and plenty of twists and turns. The Life is Strange Remastered Collection includes the original 2 games, with updated visuals, improved lip syncing, a new lighting system, and much more. It's the best way to experience these classic games. The 2 Chrono games have a reputation for being some of the best RPGs of all time, and they more than live up to it. Both titles in the series feature amazing characters, stellar soundtracks, exciting and strategic combat systems, and compelling, twisty-turny plots that feature everything from time travel to parallel worlds. Some might even call them masterpieces, and if you're a dedicated RPG fan, you should consider them must-plays. There are 2 games to pick from, and you should feel free to start with whichever you like. That said, there are some fun connections between the 2, and if you do play both, you'll enjoy spotting them. Chrono Trigger sends a young man on a time-hopping adventure into the distant past and the far-flung future. It's available now on Steam, iOS, and Android. What's more, the game has been updated with widescreen support, so it looks better than ever. Or at least wider than ever. Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition, an enhanced version of Chrono Cross for Switch, PS4, Xbox One and PC. In this tale, you'll play as a hero who finds himself transported to a world where he apparently died as a child. He embarks on a quest across 2 parallel worlds to investigate the connection between his existence and the future of his planet. A number of Saga titles have been released in the last few years, and each one offers a fantastic starting point for new fans. Here is what you should check out. With the recently announced remake, Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven, due to release on October 24th, we have to include the original Romancing Saga 2 on our list. It's an RPG with staggering ambition. The story focuses on the return of the 7 heroes, fabled warriors who saved the world many centuries ago but have now come back seeking revenge on a world that they feel did them wrong. Rather than a single, central protagonist, the game follows the line of rulers of the Varen Empire. As the game progresses, the Emperor eventually falls in battle, and the player is prompted to choose a new leader to ascend the throne and inherit the skills and attributes from their predecessors. Saga Emerald Beyond is an RPG that's all about choice. You'll pick between multiple protagonists, and the narrative will change depending on who you play as, the order of the world you visit, and the decisions you make. It also features a richly tactical turn-based battle system that rewards planning with some of the most satisfying attacks out there. Next on our list is the Voice of Cards series. It features everything you could want from an RPG. Wonderful stories, excellent music, exciting battles, and everything is presented through the medium of cards. Yes, cards. The world is made of cards. The items are made of cards. It's all cards. As you'd expect from the creators of Nier and Drakengard, each entry is packed with stunning visuals, offbeat humour and imaginative encounters. 3 have been released, and they require no knowledge of the other. They're all excellent, so we'd say just go for the setup that feels best for you. Or you could even pick up the trilogy and just play all 3. If you're looking for a laid-back RPG full of wit and charm, look no further than a Voice of Cards game. Last, but absolutely not least, is Star Ocean. Another long-standing series that RPG fans should definitely check out, if you haven't already. The series features numerous titles that lean into science fiction concepts, like space exploration and alien worlds, and melds them with fantasy elements. Since its first entry in 1996, the series has become famous for the sheer imagination and personality that's packed into each entry. Unsure where to start? Look no further than the latest release, Star Ocean: The Second Story Arc. It's a lovingly remade version of the 1998 original, which is one of the series' most beloved entries. Dual protagonists, encountering many characters, and a sweeping story that crosses both science fiction and fantasy. Star Ocean, the second story R, was received greatly by both critics and fans of the franchise. So, there we go. These are just some of our recommendations. Where will you go next, or what did we miss? Comment below and let us know.